So we all have undeniable histories, things that we all we've we've all passed through from time to time. The past 1 year and a half, maybe, like, has been the most life-changing years. These have been the most life-changing years of my life. So today I'm not here to tell you anything, but I'm not here to tell you like any direct lesson, but I'm here to like tell you genuinely my lessons, like the way I am, what I am today. But I'm going to tell you since the beginning of time. I'm just going to tell you like the recent 1.5 year, because these have been the most significant years according to me in my life. Let me drink some water and then we're going to start. Now, where should I begin? November, if not September, if not October of 2024, is when it was the first time I was actually caught in a seizure. Am I talking about seizures? Well, as soon as I was caught with a seizure, I was taken to the hospital to be diagnosed and what was going on, because I've never really gotten such kind of situation in the whole entirety of my life. And then, so after I reached the hospitals, they told me that I had a cyst, like some kind of swelling that has some, not tumor, not necessarily a tumor, but some liquids in the brain. Be specific, they said an arachnoid cyst. I'm not really a doctor and I didn't really understand and do much research on it, but then that was what was causing me to have the seizures. And I thought that time, like that first seizure, was like, you know what, just once and everything's done. But then after that, once it started coming back again, I got seizures again and again, losing consciousness just randomly, again and again and again and again. And these experiences, like, they've all happened since last year. And like over the time, I've been feeling different. Of every time it happens, I felt different every time it happens, specifically because of the way things change within my life. And you can see, the first time it happened, really, after I got up and really put that information and everything, I was genuinely scared. For the first time in my life, I was genuinely scared in the sense of my survival and things like, damn, I had existential dread. I started thinking about a lot of things that really I don't think a normal 14-year-old should be thinking about. Yes, I was 14 and I am 15 right now. So it was scary, yes. It was scary to face the situation itself. It was scary to end up in such thoughts. Now, some might be asking, like, how did you like get off yourself from those thoughts? And like normal people, like, I've always been this kind of person that thinks about everything. Like, I think about everything. And the bad side to thinking is that you think about every possible scenario, mostly bad scenarios. You know what bad scenario I'm talking about. Now, as it went, I couldn't stop this. I couldn't stop thinking about that thought. So let me mention it, death. I couldn't stop thinking about death. Even though it was like, like very unlikely to happen, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So what did I do about it? Of course, after that, I started facing serious existential thoughts and dread. And like, if you don't understand the meaning of existential dread, it's like something like you start questioning everything. You start questioning your whole existence. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, at that moment is when I realized, like, damn, our lives are so short. Like, they're so short. Hell short. Like so short. And then I realized that some people, yes, our lives are short, but some have some years to live. Me, yeah, that's not the case for me. So I started really deciding on things that I really want to do. Like, it was as if, you know, that before your death, on your deathbed, what could you do on your deathbed, or like what would you think about while on your deathbed, I started doing those kind of actions without nobody telling me that, yo, bro, it's your deathbed. But like my thoughts drag me to that. So that thought really helps a lot, by the way. Like thinking, if you are before your deathbed, what could you think about? Would you remember these small things that don't matter? Would you remember these things that actually don't make any sense? That helps a lot, and I had to learn that the hard way. So time went on, and a mixture of school and everything. Like this was the track. I was in a hostel school whereby like I stayed there. So like when that happens, I have to come back home again, and then come back home again to like recover from the situation and go back to school, home. So it was just like shift. But then I was mostly at home most of the time. That's resulting to me spending only 4 months at school the entirety of 2025. Only 4 months, like only 4 months. And it was a national examination year. I believe that's local kind of exams. I'm not gonna mention them, but then I'm going to try to be mostly based on my personal life. So that's the whole situation itself in general. But then in my view, here's the drag of events. It started like the moment I realized that, damn, this life is short. Like we're here for a very short time. I started like thinking, bro, what's even all of this? What's even all of this? So I started facing, I think it's called nihilism. Yeah, I think it's called nihilism. Not I think it's called nihilism, by the way. Like I started being a nihilist, not believing in anything. And as I was in that stage, they always say that if you're a nihilist, you either end up in another religion or you either end up in absurdism. So I was in that stage where I was like looking to something to believe in, because I realized that my thoughts already killed me from the inside. My thoughts already showed me my deathbed before I actually died. So I started finding religion. I started finding faith, and unfortunately, I did not succeed 100% into getting myself deeply driven into faith, because I don't know, we're different, we're built different. But then how am I living here? Am I still a nihilist, or am I like what happened? So it was like this. On a random, totally random June weekend, I think it was 15th, 13th, I came across absurdism. And really at that time my mind was like, I'm just gonna do things. Like I had that deathbed type of mentality only. I never knew anything about absurdism. I know I'm spitting a lot of philosophical concepts here, but then stay with me. It's gonna get interesting as we go. I started thinking like, if I was by my deathbed, would I be doing what I'm really doing right now? Of course not. Like, of course not. Despite being young, I've been able to think about these things in a really smooth way. And the point of where I think that I kind of think like other people, but then I don't know. It's your choice how you view me, and it's your perspective. Anyways, but then I started having those kind of thoughts, and so I started daring to do things. Like, despite being sick, having this cyst and kind of things like this, I could drag myself to do what I love. And by the way, I love computers, I love art, I'm a very diverse person, but the core of my personality is mainly talking. I like yapping a lot, and computers. I like computers and I like yapping. I'm still looking for a combination to combine both of those things to my advantage. Meaning I'm trying to make a channel, a YouTube channel specifically for me, talking about coding, AI, and just yapping about such things. So to try to converge and like merge those two things together, I started doing things themselves. Like the moment that happened is when I started like, I want to start my YouTube channel. But then there was a constraint. At that time, the school institution I was in had some policies which not allow students to be on social media. Therefore, I was really restricting myself to doing this kind of stuff. And so that was really I don't know, I had an inner monologue with my inner dialogue with myself that, yo, should I do this or should I not do this? Like, I don't know. So I left social media and such kind of things aside and started going all in on coding. Let me drag quickly through my projects I've been able to make. So I did not start when I started AI, not there, like no AI, but then the time I started when I was like in the middle of the learning and everything, AI hit. And so as I started learning, I started making simple projects, making animations using Manim. This, you can skip this part, to be honest, to like somehow later, like skip it, because I'm going to yap a lot about technical stuff. So I learned Manim, I learned Python, I made my first app, which is file organizer for organizing files automatically on my PC because I had messy screenshots. And I made another app for tracking shop data and sales analytics and such kind of stuff, automating, like calculating everything. And then at that time when I finished making that app, AI dropped, and I always really wanted to make a chat app because I like the idea of chat apps and everything. So I know it's like unrealistic, it's like sort of unrealistic to make a successful chat app, like everyone will start using it. But then I did make my chat app, and it is like there, it's live, it's there. I told it to my friends, and me and my friends, some of us, like barely use it. I am mostly there on my own, and really, I don't care because I never did it to make anyone proud. I did it because I loved it. I love making the chat app. Thanks to AI, it was like the process was like sped so fast, and then everything is just like there. I'll make a video specifically about AI and my thoughts on AI. I'm promising you this every day. Yeah, sorry for the interruption, and I'm back. So, as I was saying, I really started thinking and doing this kind of things. So, tap. I've made 12 projects until now, and I'm really going to make my flagship app, NutriMind. Soon is coming out. I'm going to tell it to you guys. And really, another app I'm making called Julia, which is Shake to Not app because I'm really lazy in journaling nowadays. So now let me drag you through my personal stuff. So as I was passing through this period and thinking about things, I came by this YouTuber called Malik Peace, and I watched his video about absurdism, and the video really changed everything about how I view the world. If you don't know the concept of absurdism, I will link the video below so you can watch it, or you can just click there and watch it. And then absurdism is basically the concept of that nothing has meaning in life. And since everything has no meaning, you should look not into the absurdism itself, into the abyss itself, but rather you should like that absurdism or that abyss should give you reasons why not to stop. So this is part 1, by the way, because my phone is currently low on charge and I cannot really handle recording this anymore. So thank you for watching. Part 2 coming soon. Yeah, that's my story.